Can Minnesota do it? Can Minnesota put Penn State fans on the edges of their seats with an upset this week? Let's talk about it. Roman Tomashoff, Locked On Huskies, joining me here. Our teams don't play this week, so I figure it's as good a time as any to bring them back to pick every game in the Big Ten. I can't get behind Minnesota in this spot, Roman. I really can't, for two reasons. Number one, it's a science, not an art. Penn State against everyone not named Michigan and Ohio State is not just good, they tend to win big. And number two, Darius Taylor's a running back that I really like. He's a darn good football player. They haven't been able to get him going in the last few weeks. That's part of the reason I think they lost to Rutgers. He had just 28 yards on the ground. I don't think they're going to suddenly find their offense against Penn State here, even at home. Nittany Lions favored by 11.5. I think they cover it 28-10.
Spencer, I'm with you there where, I mean, it's an experience I unfortunately had to watch with my team a couple weeks ago, going to Penn State in the whiteout with a very good running back at Washington and Jonah Coleman. This Penn State run defense is really good. That defense as a whole, man, watching Abdul Carter do his thing whenever Washington tried to drop back and pass was unbelievable. I really like Penn State in this game. I think that their offense is finding, a groove at the right time. We'll see if they can just keep it rolling, find a way, because they're right there right now in college football playoff rankings. I think that this is an inspired team playing some really good football right now, and they need to send a message this week.
They are good. I don't think they are great and worthy of being a top 5 team in the country, but hey, they deserve to be there based on the games they have played so far. I want your thoughts on the game of the week. We were talking about this earlier on today's show. I've got Ohio State winning 31-24. I think that's a Buckeye win, a Hoosiers cover. I think an Ohio State cover is more likely than an Indiana outright win because I think this Ohio State team is really, really good. They're at home as well. How do you see the game of the week playing out?
Yeah, this is a really interesting game where I'm glad you talked about the Ohio State cover where, we talked about it on the Big Ten Squad show as well, where I'm really curious. I think Ohio State certainly can cover in this game. I'm curious to see how the offensive line plays out now. But the more I look at this, the more I just say I've been impressed with this Ohio State team for a while. I like everything they're able to do on the ground, and Indiana's an awesome football team. But at the same point, this is just that big litmus test for Curt Cignetti of, hey, where is your program right now? What are you going to be able to do for, a year, 2 years down the line? And this game is going to be very telling. I think that Indiana has been awesome all year long. I don't want any Indiana fans to get it twisted when I say that, but at the same point, they're not there yet. And that's okay, because Curt Cignetti has done amazing things in year one, but there is a very sizable gap between where Indiana is right now and where they need to be able to beat this Ohio State team especially.
Indiana fans, if they don't win this football game, can rest assured knowing two things. They should be in the college football playoff, and you've got your guy as a head coach, and he is locked up for the future and will not be, in all likelihood, entertaining other offers. How about the team Ohio State plays next week? They host Northwestern, favored by 10.5. That's Michigan. Of course, I think this is Michigan's last chance to get bowl eligible. They're not beating Ohio State next week. It's in Columbus. They're not going to win that football game. No. But I think they're going to win this one. And frankly, I think the Michigan passing attack has been significantly better in the second half of the season, Roman. Davis Warren is not the answer at quarterback next season, but at the very least, it could give Michigan maybe somewhat of a puncher's chance against Ohio State. I doubt it, but I think the defense is pretty much what we expected it to be. Northwestern, they're not great. I'll take Michigan 28-3.
Ooh, I like where you're going with that. Where Spencer, hold on. First thing I got to say here is you can say significantly better. That still doesn't make it good. Let's be honest about that. You're right. Davis Warren, not the answer, but same point. Yeah. I think that Michigan, the defense, I've been really impressed. Obviously, everything they're able to do up front with Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, Josiah Stewart, that's a fantastic defensive line.
That's like three first-round caliber guys on the defensive line.
100%. If all those guys go in the top 20 at some point in time,
wouldn't shock me.
No, not at all. But at the same point, their offense needs so much more. They need so much help there. I'm curious to see how this Bryce Underwood thing plays out moving forward. I know that's not what we're talking about right now, but it's something that I've got on the front of my mind. Love to see how that one's going to play out moving forward. But no, there's no way they wouldn't. That they lose this game. Northwestern, the offense, the defense, it's fine. The passing attack for Northwestern, I had the great displeasure of watching it in person. I can say the same about the Michigan passing attack, but Northwestern's was still somehow worse. So, yeah, Michigan, I like 28-3. I'm going to double down with you on that.
Poor Nebraska just can't win a game once they get to 5 wins in a season. They are favored by 1.5 against Wisconsin. I don't know, man. I don't know. They're at home. They're at home. They should win. But are they going to flip a coin and see where it comes down? I'm going to go with whoever you pick in this game.
I think I'm going to ride with Nebraska here.
Okay, I'll pick Nebraska. Sure, why not?
It's hard. You said they're at home. Like that's the biggest thing here. I think I look at this Wisconsin team, Spencer. You got to watch them last week with everything that happened, and they're fine. I wasn't necessarily overly impressed with their offense. I think Matt Rule's done a really good job with this Nebraska defense, and I think on top of that, Dylan Raiola is going to continue to show that he's taking steps forward as a quarterback. Where just to bring it back to Washington, because I always have to. Like, we haven't seen DeMond Williams play a full season, obviously, but we've seen him improve in leaps and bounds throughout the course of the year. I think Dylan Raiola is starting to show that. But at the same point, this Nebraska defense is going to be able to carry him for the time being against a Wisconsin offense that I really was not that impressed by.
Yeah, Braden Locke at quarterback, not great. He was the backup at one point in the season for the Badgers. For a reason, they fired their offense coordinator. That either goes very well or very poorly. On the road, I think Nebraska gets bowl eligible. Come on, Cornhuskers, you can do it. How about a classic Big Ten showdown here? The battle for Los Angeles, USC, UCLA. It's at the Rose Bowl for whatever.
It's happening.
Yeah, it's a game. It is definitely one of the football games in the Big Ten conference schedule this week. Roman, I like USC. I don't know if they cover 4.5. Like, UCLA is playing sneaky well, and I know USC got it done against Nebraska last week. I think that was an easy. Nebraska's covering 8.5. USC got away with the pass interference in the end zone there in the last play of the game. We'll overlook that for now. I'll take USC by a single solitary point, 24-23.
Spencer, give me the Bruins in this game. I like the football they're playing. That defensive line is really fun. Watching Jay Toya last week up here in Seattle, that was a lot of fun. That dude, as Jed Fish said, is going to play on Sundays. A lot of fun to watch play. And the offense, I feel like it's going to be a little bit better. I haven't been impressed with USC's pass rush in the last couple of weeks, to be completely honest. And, again, after watching them here a couple of weeks ago, but I think that Ethan Garbers is really good at getting outside the pocket, finding ways to make plays with his legs. I think that just everything they've been able to do offensively over this last stretch where, they've won 3 out of the last 4 now. I think that it's going to be enough at home in the Rose Bowl with all 15,000 people that are going to be there for this game. I think that it's still going to be enough to get the job done. Give me 24-21 in this game. So similar enough score to you.
Do you have the gusto to pick Purdue to win a football game?
No,
me neither. Michigan State's going to win that one. We'll wrap here our Big Ten picks with Iowa at Maryland and Illinois at Rutgers. Vegas might know something about Rutgers. They're only a 1-point underdog against top 25 Illinois. I'll take the Illini, though, to squeak out a low-scoring game, 2017. Iowa, Maryland, though, I don't know. I kind of think Maryland can pull the upset in this spot. Like, am I nuts?
No, I certainly agree with you. I can't pick against them because when I look at these games, I got Rutgers and I got Iowa strictly based off the fact that two of my they both beat Washington. That's beside the point in this game. Two of my favorite players to watch in the country are Caleb Johnson and Kyle Badungai. Man, they're so much fun to watch. And I can't bet against those guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Maryland to pull the upset of Iowa at home, get their second Big Ten conference win, keep bowl eligibility hopes alive for Mike Locksley and company. They've made it the last several years. I think they're gonna find a way to at least keep it on the front of their minds for one more week. So Maryland 27-24, Illinois 2017. That's how every Big Ten game is gonna play out this week to a T. There will be no mistakes, no errors, nothing. Roman Tomashoff, Locked On Huskies. Roman, appreciate it as always.
Spencer, as always, thanks for having me.